fans, and hello race fans, and welcome to Belterra Park. I'm track announcer Ed Meyer, and thank you for joining us on this beautiful Friday afternoon of live racing action. We have 8 live races coming your way. We're on the turf today. The track is fast, turf is good. The turf rails are set at 12 feet. All good news there. Anytime there's turf racing, I'm one happy lad. And joining me is my handicapping co-host, my good friend, and my handicapping better, Miss Ashley Holliday.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us today. Weather in Cincinnati about 82, 83 degrees right now, and absolutely beautiful, as you mentioned, a perfect racing weather day.
I think Ashley's ready. She, how should I say this nicely? She really laid the old Rudy Poo smackdown on me last weekend. Last week, she really was on her game. So write her numbers down in pen for sure. We've got some free programs up here for those that are just joining us. Please feel free to grab one. Our way of saying thank you and join in the fun with us. Have a great day. Hope you pick some winners. If you write Ashley's and mine down, maybe you can use the two and maybe have a nice exact and or try. Miss Ashley, we are fast and good, as said before. 81 beautiful degrees, partly cloudy.
Yes, it is a really nice day for racing horses. A great day to come on out to the track and hang out with us for the day, or join us and just watch us for the day here. Going on to race 1, it is a $10,000 beat and claiming for horses that have non-won 4 races in their life. They're going to go 6 furlongs, 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. For me in race 1, Ed, and I believe before I move too far ahead, I believe we're clear of scratches in race 1.
In fact, we are. You're
Very
good to go.
So, all systems go. So for me in race 1, we have a 5-horse field. I'm going to go 4-2-5. I'm going to put the 4 Brink Point on top in here. This horse is dropping down from our $25,000 claimer, non-winners of 1, coming down in for the $10,000 tag today. We've talked about it before on the show, the combination of Larry Smith, Perry Oots, very hard to stay away from them. And with this horse, the 4 Brink Point, I like the Equibase comments. I always suggest and recommend that everybody take a peek of those. His last time out in that $25,000 claimant race, the Equibase comments there is awkward start, wide for third. Did finish third in that race. I think today, down in class a little bit, the Larry Perry combo, always sharp. I think is going to give him the in here today. And I guess I should give you the rest of my second and third place horses. I'm going to go with the 2 Stone Cold Cat for second in here. Another horse dropping down in class. Luis Reyes rides for trainer Stephen Cahill. A good combination jockey trainer there. And then for third, I'm going to go with the 5 Reckless LJ. And what are you thinking in here, Ed? Are we similar on this race?
You know, we've got a little bit of close action here. You know, when you handicap enough together, you start I got all mixed up there. You start looking like your dog or something like that. I think when you handicap together long enough, you start handicapping the same way because we see a lot of the similar points here. But for me, I'm going to go 3, 4, and 2 in today's opener. We're going to be going 3/4 a mile, which is 6 furlongs. My top pick in here is number 3, My Monsters for Real, from the Jeff Greenhill barn. Jeff is winning 29% of the time. In this 4-year-old got a son of State Line is 3 for 8 in the money at Belterra Park, dropping down in class. And the first time claimer here, angle here for the Greenhill barn, they win 22% of the time. Santiago Gonzalez is aboard, and they get their picture taken 27% of the time. Been off for 8 months. I'm going to call that well rested because Jeff Greenhill definitely knows where to spot his runners, and he knows just when it's time to push the button. Today, I'm going to key on top with the number 3, My Monsters for Real, and then I go with the closer, and that's the 4 Brink Point, and then I come right back to Stone Cold Cat. And if you're a wrestling fan, because Stone Cold says so. Ashley,
Yes.
Before we go any further,
Yeah.
I had a question because there was a horse walking up to the paddock, and I saw some big furry strips on the side. It almost looked like a white beard.
I'm actually glad you brought that up, Ed, because I have that in my list of interesting fun facts to talk about today. So last week we talked about blinkers and about how there are essentially 5 types. You know, we go from the bottom, the cheater set of cups, then to the French cup, a semi, a full cup, and then I didn't talk about it, but there's also an extension cup that'll be on either the left or right side. Would be essentially like a cup and a half, so it's the most extreme type of a blinker. Now, moving on to a what we call cheek pieces. So they are sheepskin Velcro attachments. Typically, you'll see them on both sides of the bridle. And thank you for my, my little handy rock here. You'll see them on both sides of the bridle. They're going to function very similar action as a set of blinkers will. So what they're going to do is they're going to kind of limit the horse's field of vision. A cheek piece is kind of going to be more just take away the horse's view of the rider, if you will. Some horses kind of can get distracted by that rider on their back, because think about a horse's field of vision. They can see perfectly behind them. They can see that rider. So say the rider goes to use the whip, or maybe he moves the whip from one hand or another, or he starts moving around. A horse that gets nervous and distracted easily might kind of start paying a little bit more attention to that than they really should. They need to focus on running their race. So that's when a cheek piece would come into play. And also it's going to work kind of like blinkers do in the event that they can't necessarily see everything behind them. They're not going to be looking around. It's going to kind of dial them in and focus them a bit more.
They look really soft. I mean, you know, from my vantage point, I'll pull up the specs, I'll take a peek. They look really soft.
Oh, yeah.
And they almost look just kind of like something
Cozy.
that wouldn't be, cozy.
Yeah.
And if it's wintertime, it really might be kind of nice, but they look really soft. And pay attention, it almost looks like a white beard at times. Comes right down the side of their faces.
Yeah, you'll see them white, and you'll even see like pink, yellow, purple. Sometimes those don't stand out as much because if they have like a set of purple, like a bridle or something like that, you might not notice it, but you will see them, and they are made of sheepskin. They got Velcro. They just hook right on there, and away they go. Yeah, it's very interesting. And I'm glad you brought that up, Ed, because I know a lot of people, if you don't see something and you kind of wonder, like, well, what's that for? Well, now you know, and maybe you'll use that as kind of a handicapping angle moving forward.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, anytime I've ever run across anybody that ever would like to come up and catch a race, you're more than welcome. All you have to do is just come up and knock on the glass. We'd love to have you up as our guest. You can come up and catch a race and catch the best point here, right on the finish line, and you can see some of the things that actually I'm really have an opportunity to see, and it kind of sticks in my head. But yesterday I noticed, and I said, you know what, I'm going to have to give the Q&A to Ashley on that one. I knew there was a reason for this, and I know that the way you fully explained it, I think it sounds like just a kind addition for equipment. Our second race today, 5 furlongs on the turf, and it is a good turf. The turf rails are set at 12 feet. And we have a few scratches to mention in today's second race. Scratch the 6, Gottsacker. Scratch number 7, Oxwood. And scratch number 9, Say It Ain't So. And a rider change on the number 2, Under the Cougars, make the new rider Luan Machado. Lead on, Ashley.
All right, Ed, thank you so much. And for me, in race 2, I'm going to go 8, 1, and 2B. 8, 1, 2B for me. I'm going to go with the 8, KW Captain Hook. Again, say it, the Larry Smith, Perry Oots combination. This horse has had 3 wins in his last 4 starts here at Belterra Park. Other than that, he finished 3rd. So you could really say he's been no worse than 3rd his last 4 starts, 3 of those being winners. Fits in with this group really nicely. We can see he's been running with this similar class of horses last few times out. Does come off a victory here. I think looks much the best for me in here on the turf today. Is comfortable running that 5.5, 6 furlongs. Today he's going to go 5/8 on the turf. Does show having a start on the turf in his lifetime already, so he's got a little bit of experience going into today. So I'm going to give him the edge on top. And for second, I'm going to go with the 1, Dom the Bomb. This horse has been running in the $10,000 claimers over at Presque Isle. Comes in today here at Belterra Park in our starter allowance. Has been second his last 2 starts out. Only beaten half to 2.5 lengths. He's been right there with the top finishing horses his last few starts. I think similar connections today. I do love a classy 10-year-old horse. 199,000 made lifetime, 24 wins in his lifetime as well. So you got to give a lot of credit to a horse that likes to find the winner circle. I'm going to use him for second in here. And for third, I'm going to go with the 2B Dragon Drew. Last couple starts out at Indiana Grand, where he was first and then second respectively. Fits in really well with this group of horses and has worked, if you look at the works, has worked over here at Belterra Park. So again, comfortable with this surface. So for me, 8, 1, 2B.
In today's second race, I'm going to go 1, 3, and 8. I love Dom the Bomb, and coming off of the synthetic at Presque Isle, there's something that actually kind of happens that there's a transitional time from the synthetic back to the dirt, but synthetic to turf may be a little kinder here. Blistering speed for this 10-year-old gelding. And what really caught my eye was the dam. Richie's Girls Got Game has 5 starters, 4 winners, 3 stakes winners, 2 of which are turf winners for the Richie Estvanco barn, winning 17% of the time, dropping down in class. Got the rail post. The rail post is winning at 19% and ran against Tougher last time out on the all-weather. And the jockey trainer combination are 2 for 4 in the past 2 weeks together, so they are doing very good work. They're 50% a winner. I see a big-time speed burst out of Dom the Bomb. And then I'm going to come back to the 3 Air War, Ronnie Betancourt for Francisco Ramos. And this past week, they've been on fire. They won 3 races on one day, Ronnie Betancourt and Francisco Ramos, and they lost by a dirty nose at the wire yesterday. So that's my second choice. And then I come out to the 8, that's KW Captain Hook. If you can toss Pariutes out on 5 furlongs, good luck to you, and I wish you well.
Very good, Ed. Very good. One thing I did want to talk about in this race, just another quick little equipment comment. We haven't seen Dragon Drew race here lately. And so most people haven't seen, we've talked about this piece of equipment before, but I don't know that we've actually seen it. So the Cornell collar, people ask, what does that mean? So it actually is going to fit. It was designed, as it's called, Cornell collar. It was designed at Cornell University in New York by their veterinary program, and it is for soft palate displacement. So it's for horses that will, what we call, kind of flip their palate when they're racing. And obviously, if you're not getting 100% of your air, that's obviously going to impact your performance. So the theory behind this is it's non-invasive. It's just literally just fits right underneath kind of their throat latch area, and it just provides just a very gentle pressure to prevent that palate getting displaced. So very interesting piece of equipment. If you see it on him in the paddock today, take a peek at it. And like I said, it's called a collar because it really just kind of fits around the throat latch area. So always like to give out the kind of equipment information if I can, because I'm kind of a nerd about it, and I think it's
more than nerd. It's helpful tools for their handicapper. I find it for the many moons that I've been handicapping, more than one in less than 100, but for the many moons that I have, when I hear a fuller explanation of that, I may have thought that I had every down going in, but I got to tell you, you've really brought some light to that, and I know that our handicappers out there really appreciate this as well. But something I want to work on. I noticed that you mentioned the comment line a whole lot. We're going to get, every time you mention a comment line from Equibase, they're going to give you 3 cents.
Oh, there we go.
so we're going to get you some extra money for sure on that one.
Oh, goodness.
Because you've actually brought that to light for, it's really important to pay attention to the comment line indeed.
Yeah, those guys do a really good job of putting that together. And,
yes.
If you want let me, I'm trying to think of the word I want to use, the most accurate, I would say, most experienced kind of opinion on something like that, take a peek at it. It's in your program. It's
Our
right
chart
there for
colors
you.
they're par excellent.
Yes.
It is a gentleman and a lady, and they do one heck of a job.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, if they don't see it, it didn't happen, because they really pay attention to what's going on, all for you to make sure that your day at the races is even fuller and you have a better understanding. Today's third race of 1 mile, we got a maiden special weight event for Ohio breds here. Miss Ashley?
All righty, we got a 5-horse field in the third, our maiden special weight. I'm going to go 3-2-1. 3-2-1 for me. I'm going to put the 3, Get Out of the Harem, on top in here. Shane Myers, trainer, Santiago Gonzalez, is going to ride today. This horse had a pretty impressive second-place finish, only beaten half a length its last time out. And I like, again, we're going to talk about the Equibase comments. I like that it said, led and then caught, just caught right there at the wire, beaten half a length for the whole thing. We see the Thistledown horses come in to Belterra Park. They do really, really well. This horse has been working really consistently from April to June. Does have some good races in there. I think for me, I'm going to give him the edge on top in here today. And then for second, I'm going to go with the 2, Give Me Clearance. This horse was running in a maiden $10,000 claimer. It's last time out here in July. Is going to take a shot a little bit kind of up in class today, going with the maiden special weight horses. But still, I like kind of the form. Its last start was second. And then for third, I'm going to go with the 1, Bally Bear. This horse did his works in April at Churchill Downs. has raced his last 2 starts here at Belterra Park in the maiden special weight. Second, third, been right there with him. John McKee up for trainer Thomas Drury. I know Ed's probably got an opinion about that. So 3, 2, 1 for me in race 3. I'm very curious to hear how Ed went in here today.
And I have been a big Tom Drury fan for a very long time and a John McKee fan. So teaming them both up together is kind of like I get my cake and eat it too. I really enjoy taking a look at all the Drury runners. They look like $1 million coming up. I haven't seen one, just not a hair out of place. My top pick in here is going to be 1, 3, and 5. I'm going to kick it off with the 1, Bally Bear. Tom Drury, they were a beaten favorite last time out, and Tom Drury comes back to score 38% of the time. So that's some good turning the tables action there. Has not raced for 2 months. I'm going to call that a little break there to kind of get right back in action. They were going 5 furlongs, and they were staying close to the pace. Now they're going to go 2 turns for the mile. I'm looking for a little up-close run here, maybe a little good of a stalker trip under John McKee, who is winning 30% of the time. And as I said before, they get their picture taken 45% of the time. What caught my eye is 2 back ran outside of Ohio Company. Last time back in against Ohio Company, had a rough start with a late run according to the comment line and was really coming on. I went back and watched the race. I think Bally Bear at 9 to 5 really looks good here. My second choice, number 3, get out of the harem. Just get out of that harem. And then I round up with the closer. That is number 5, State of Grace, Rafael Mejica Jr. for Tom Feedback.
And moving on into race 4, 5.5 furlongs, maiden special weight for 2-year-old maiden fillies. Ed, I think we do have quite a few scratches in here.
We have a few scratches here for the 2-year-old fillies. Scratch the 1A, Busy Girl. Scratch number 2, 24 Carat. Scratch the 2B part of the entry, Better Half. And scratch number 7, That Shows She Rolls. And they are going to be out of today's 4th race for 2-year-old fillies, sprinting 5.5 furlongs, Miss Ashley.
For me, in race 4, I'm going to go 6, 1, 3. I'm going to put the 6 BG Warrior on top in here. We've talked about it multiple times on the show. These horses coming in from Churchill Downs, running in the maiden special weights there, come into maiden special weights here at Belterra Park, and they do really, really well. They find a little bit of easier company. This horse does show working at Belterra Park, which I always want to mention to people. Sometimes you wonder when you talk about young horses, maiden horses, shipping into a new track. They're obviously going to be a little bit nervous, looking around. The good news is here, this horse does show, if you look at the works here at the bottom of the program, does show multiple works over this surface recently, so should be very comfortable here. John McKee, we just talked about it. He's going to ride this horse today. Rode this horse on the 4th of July at Churchill Downs, so clearly gets along well with the horse. The horse is comfortable here with our surface. I think for sure the standout for me today in this race. And then for second, I'm going to go with the 1, Sassy and Bold. Doug Cowens trains Luan Machado up in the irons today. This horse does show some nice works. His last 2 works here at Belterra in July the 7th and the 16th of July. First time start for her today, first lifetime start. However, she's really comfortable here. Doug Cowens does a great horses. I'm not too concerned there. And then for third, I'm going to go with the 3, Macy's Gemstone.
In today's 4th race, I'm going to go 6-5-3. I'm going to ditto right off of BG Warrior. Ron Kales, they're dropping down in class. In the second career start for the Ron Kales barn, they win 56% of the time. Cutting back in distance, Ashley touched on the Churchill angle. They like that deep, preparing Churchill Downs oval. It really gets them legged up, and they do very well. Showed a little bit of speed this 2-year filly by Runaway and Hyde. And her dam, Biggio's Gift, had 4 starts with 3 winners, 50% with her 2-year-olds. Really respectable numbers. I'm a big Ron Kales fan, winning 15% on the year, 60% in the money. That's my top pick. Right underneath, I'm going to go the Ron Kales sandwich, top and bottom, with Queen Tapiture, Tiago Canuto, who's really been riding very well as of late. And her dam, Garzon County Queen, has 3 starts and 3 wins. So I've got the 2 Ron Kales horses, 6 and the 5. I end up with the 3, Macy's Gemstone, who looks like that she's going to be able to put in a little bit of a late run. And if you take a look at the comment line, broke in green at the start. So I'm going to discount that last race, maybe a little problematic. And if we get a clean break today, could be some trouble.
Absolutely. It's always interesting with these maidens, especially the first-time starters versus the second-time starters. We know some people prefer the second-time starters because they feel like, okay, now they've got, some experience. They've got to start over their belt. But then other people say, oh, no, 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 it's the first-time starters because they don't know what to expect, and they're getting their full attention and they're interested. So it could go kind of either way. So really whatever your angle and whatever your feeling is, I would say stick to it, and maybe 50% of the time you'll get it right.
In today's fifth race, it's 1 mile in a turf. It's a maiden special weight event. We have a few scratches. Let's scratch number 10. It's all about action. Scratch a 10. It's all about action. Scratch number 14, Noble's Feelings. There's a rider change to number 13, Wildcat Dream. Make the new rider Tiago Canuto. And scratch the 15, Ken Keed, and the 16, Bikini from today's fifth race.
For me in race 5, I'm going to go 12. I'm going to put the 6. Why she do that on top in here. Again, we're going to talk about it. A horse coming in from Churchill Downs. Going to race here at Belterra Park today. Definitely going to get a little bit of an edge there, I think. For me, what I like, her Equibase comment on her last start at Churchill Downs, where she did finish 6th, was beaten 13 3/4 length. But I like that the Equibase comment says she was 6 wide at the quarter, had no rally. I think today she's going to find a little bit more of a comfortable spot. She's been running shorter distances, 7 furlongs today. She's going to go a mile. She's going to go on the turf. I'm going to give her a slight edge in here. Luan Machado for trainer Ben Colebrook. This horse, Ed's used the term before, workman-like workouts. Nothing that really stands out. They're not great. They're not terrible, but very workman-like. Been very consistent as well. I think in very good form, and I'm expecting her to do really well in here today. For a second, I'm going to go with the Ireland importee, the 3 Noise. Deshaun Parker going to ride for trainer Joseph Deegan. I'm really curious to see how she's going to do in here. Has had good works in July at High Point. For me, I'm going to go use her for second in here. Wouldn't be surprised to see her do a little bit more. I'm very interested to watch this race today. If you can't tell, I'm really excited. Yeah. And for third, I'm going to go with the 12 Spurt. Again, I like the works on this horse. And John McKee for Tom Drury. I know Ed's going to agree with me there. Definitely got to pay attention to that. So for me in race 5, 6, 3, 12.
Where you ended, I'll begin. I'm going to go 12, 2, and 4. I like Spurt. We got a nice closing filly by Run Happy here. This is really nice breeding. Tom Drury, as I said before, is winning 38% of the time. And once again, taking a look at that comment line down at Gulfstream Park, it was a race that came off the turf that day, and it says off slowly, no factor. Maybe we can toss that one aside here and just build on it. A lot of runners, that second time out, they are subject to improve. And I mean, in your opinion, do you see more improvement out of a second time start?
I would have to say, yeah. At that point, they've had the 2 starts already. Third time fit, race fit, which is different than just being fit. They've had the experience with other horses in close quarters with them. They've done it twice. I would definitely say that's very fair.
But Spurt's dropping down in class. I really like that. And 90 days away. Been off for 4 months, so that's a bit longer than 90 days. Tom Drury wins 19% of the time. His go-to man, John McKee in the irons. They are 2 for 3 in the last. That's 2 wins from 3 starts in the last 2 weeks. Dropping down in class, shipping in from Gulfstream Park, and Tom Drury wins 23% of the time. Very respectable numbers. Then I come back to the 2, and that's Chloe's Girl coming in from Santa Anita, and showed a little bit of speed here for trainer Michael McCarthy. Well, Michael McCarthy had the Preakness winner last year, or was it now 2 years? Time flies when you're having fun.
I know, right?
Oh, it does. But Michael McCarthy had the Preakness winner, and he's a very fine horseman indeed. 3-year-old filly by Creative Cause. I think it's going to show a lot of speed. Perry eats aboard. You can definitely bet there's going to be a lot of speed involved. And then I'm going to go with a 4 that's Loved Ryko for Rusty Arnold barn here. And Isaiah Wiseman stays aboard, was a widest run, improving late. For me, it's going to be 12, 2, and 4 in today's 5th race.
Very nice. Moving on into race 6. This is our beaten claiming for $5,000. Going to go 6 furlongs on the dirt, and I am fairly certain, Ed, that we are free of scratches in here.
Free of scratches, madam.
free of scratches. We will take it. That's always a good thing. So for me in race 6, I'm going to go 3-6-4. I'm going to put the 3 Mr. Halftime on top in here. This horse has had 2 handicapping angles to talk about, coming in from Churchill Downs and dropping down in class. 2 things you always got to pay attention to. We've talked about John McKee quite a bit on the show today. He's been winning a lot of races this week. I didn't do a count, but quite a few times I've heard his name
Doing well.
going to the winner's circle. So you always got to pay attention. When a rider's hot, they're hot. And then trainer Eric Reed, of course, Kentucky Derby winning trainer this year. So for me, I'm going to put the 3 Mr. Halftime. Today, he's comfortable running that 6.5 furlongs. They tried him at a mile a few times out, and he did well there too. But I do think today, coming in from Churchill Downs, down in class, going to fit in really well in here. So I'm going to use him on top. And for second, I'm going to go to the 6 Good First. This is another one dropping down, and company was racing against Allowance Company, both at Indiana Grand and here at Belterra Park. So getting a little bit of class relief today. Susan Anderson training. I think she's got 3 or 4 horses in today. It looks like every race we get to, Susan Anderson has one in there. Hope she has a great day today. And then moving on, for me, I'm going to go with the 4 Kobe Beach for third. So for me in race 6, 3-6-4 with the 3 Mr. Halftime on top in here.
I'm going to go 6-9-8. I like Good First and Julio Felix in the irons, and he's just starting to pick up his business. Was riding in Arlington Park for a good bit of time. Julio Felix was down in the Ohio area for a long time and shifted his tack up to Illinois, and back here he's been, and I really think that he's going to be a nice part of the jock colony here. Riding for Susan Anderson has not raced in 48 days, but dropping in class and may improve at the shorter distance. Julio Felix, quite a reinsman indeed, winning 12% on the year, 32% in the money. That's my top pick in here. And then I go to Raulito. Now this Raulito is a runner that you're going to want to use in exactas and trifectas. For the Nancy Adams barn, 48 starts, 2 wins, 11 seconds, and 13 thirds. This is definitely a horse that you have to respect, that you're going to want to use in your exotic plays, and I'm sure trainer Nancy Adams wants to add one more to the win column, and I think it's forthcoming. This is a really nice closer here, who's 5 for 8 in the money here at Belterra Park. And then I end up with the 8 horse, and that is Zivit Scotty, Augustin Gomez for John Chizuski, and 2 for 3 in the money here at Belterra Park.
The wind is starting to pick up. Ed brought his stapler, and I got a handy rock that I borrowed from somebody to keep our stuff down here. Moving on into race 7, 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. It's a maiden claiming for $12,500, and I do think that there is a scratch in here.
Scratch number 5, Peace, Love, and Sprinkles.
Peace, Love, and Sprinkles out in race 7 today. So for me, in the 7th, I'm going to go 8-1-4. Going to put the 8 High Meadows on top in here. This horse has been racing pretty well. He's bounced around between the maiden $5,000 claimers to the 12.5s to the 7,500s. And I will say, with those kind of races, there is a difference, but realistically, it's a real similar group of horses. You'll see them bounce around. Just really depends on, when the races come up, if it's going to fit, with their kind of training schedule and how that's going to go and what other horses the trainer has, kind of where they move them around a bit. So when you see that 5 to 75 to 12.5, it's not as drastic as you would see, like, a drop from like a maiden special weight down to a 5,000 or something like that. So for me, the 8 High Meadows is going to fit in with this group. Has been second and third his last few starts. Out, like I said, fits in well with here. Santiago Gonzalez is going to ride for trainer Mateo Morales. This horse is obviously comfortable going this distance. We see him run all 6 and 5.5 furlongs. I think given as good as he's been racing lately, going to give maybe just a slight edge in here. And then for second, I'm going to go with the 1 Cool Carol coming in from Church. John McKee up in the irons today. And then for third, I'm going to go with the 4 Sophisticated Julio Felix for Susan Anderson.
You got to say it right. Julio Felix.
Julio Felix.
We're gonna get everybody doing that
Yes.
by the end of the meet, and I'm sure Mr. Felix will not disagree when he's on his way to the winner's circle. And here there is a scratch of Peace, Love, and Sprinkles. And before we go any further, we have some free programs up here for those that are just arriving. You can come down and get one, or you can wait till we're done. You can come down and say hello. We'd love to meet you. In today's 7th race, I'm going to go 1, 4, and 8. I'm going to go with Cool Carol, John McKee. And by my standards right now, my handicapping standards that is, John McKee's up for a good day, and I sure hope so. Winning 30% of the time, shipping in from Churchill Downs, dropping down 2 class levels. Trainer Daniel Center wins 28% of the time. I'm really excited about this runner here. Just the drop in class really kind of caught my John McKee along the rail, and the rail has been the place to go, Ashley. That's my top pick. My second is Sophisticated, and Sophisticated will be coming from the Susan Anderson barn. Everything she sends out looks really good. So, and adding blinkers today, that might just be what the doctor ordered. And then I round out with the 8, and that is High Meadows, Mateo Morales. You talk about a horse or a course, and in the money percentage, 7 for 7 here at Belterra Park in the money. Another runner you want to add to your exactas and trifectas.
And moving on into our last and final race of the day, race 8, we're going to go 5/8 of a mile on the turf. It's a $7,500 claiming race. And in race 8, Ed, if you want to give us the scratches here.
Yes, ma'am. Scratch the 10, Never Know Christie. Scratch the 11, Rank and File. And scratch number 12, Go Yo Woman.
Well,
Did I have that right?
I think so. As you were saying, and I was reading it, and I said, very good. That's very, I was curious. Maybe that's why I didn't want to do the scratches in this race, because I didn't want to have to try that name first.
Well, your picks are on fire enough. I mean, you got enough to do
Oh,
already.
okay. Oh, this guy. All right, for me in race 8, I'm going to go 1-8-5. I'm going to put the 1, Forbidden Fruit, on top in here. Again, talk about this Larry Perry combination. Larry Smith, trainer, jockey Perry Oots. This horse was a winner 2 starts back, going 3/4 of a mile. Last time out went a mile, where he does show getting beat 12.5 lengths. Equibase comment, last part there, faded. For me, I think the distance is a little bit better for him. He's going to be more comfortable going this 5/8. Got the rail. We've talked about, Ed has, how the rail is winning at 19%. That is a huge win percentage right there. And so for that reason, the 1 to me really is a standout in here, Forbidden Fruit. For a second, I'm going to go with the 8. Oh boy. Petrichor. I should have practiced that.
Julio
Again,
Felix.
Another Julio Felix. Oh my gosh, I messed it up.
No, you got it right. He's going to
Julio
love it.
Felix and Susan Anderson. I got to look. I didn't look before today, but she's kind of have 4 or 5 horses in today. My goodness, Susan Anderson. So I'm going to use Petrichor for second in here. This is another one that I think likes this distance better. Does have a win 2 starts back in at this 5/8 of a mile distance. Ran a mile last time out. Had a 5th place finish. Didn't race bad, but I do think I'm going to be a little bit more comfortable with this distance relief today. And then for third, I'm going to go with the 5, Momo's Humor, Santiago Gonzalez, for trainer Chip Brownfield, a winner in its last time out. I think definitely safe to use today. So for me, 1-8-5, going to put Forbidden Fruit from the rail on top.
And Claudel Brownfield's coming off of 2 wins. His good friends call him Chip, but we'll go with Claudel Brownfield the third. He had 2 wins, really a nice barn. And once again, all of his horses really look good coming up. You can always see them. They're very striking. They always look fitted out, and they're really attentive. They're not lackluster whatsoever. But I'm going to go 1-8-10. Forbidden Fruit. We're going to go 5 on the turf. It is a good turf course, and I think speed on the lead can be as dangerous as they come. You're getting Perry Oots and Larry Smith teaming up together. They only win 23%, and that is phenomenal here. Was a beaten favorite last time out. Larry Smith comes back to turn the tables at a very crisp number there. And as Ashley said, the rail post is winning at 19%. My second course, Susan Anderson and Mr. Julio Felix. And then I ran out with number 5, Momo's Humor from the Claudel Brownfield. The third bar was Santiago Gonzalez, who's 5 for 7 in the money here at Belterra Park. Well, that's 8 live races in the book. Ashley and I, we've done our homework. Now it's time for you to do yours. We got 8 great races. Track is fast. Turf is good. The turf row is set at 12 feet, which means it's actually not against where it would be at its lowest point. It actually has fresher ground for them to run on, and it's really a good way to preserve your turf course. And that'll be a question we'll get for Ashley for next week on for the turf row there. But have a great day. Best of luck. I think we've got 8 really fun races today and a beautiful day. Miss Ashley, send us away.
Alrighty, guys. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. As Ed mentioned, it's a great day for horse racing. If you're thinking about coming out, now's the time. Perfect day for racing. And thanks so much. Best of luck, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please honor America with the playing of the national anthem?